Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 19 of Mistconceptions. I'm your host, David White. If you have not followed us on Facebook or Twitter yet, you probably missed this post, but a few weeks ago, Aaron Wharton, the guy that does our music here, our awesome theme music, came out with a new album with his band, Chicken. And it's not spelt like you would think, it's actually spelt Xuiquen, but he assures me that it is pronounced chicken. I will post a link to Aaron's album down below. You can go listen to it on Bandcamp, and please do, go show him some Mistconceptions love and help him feel appreciated, him and his music. And I talk about sharing the show and getting the word out there, and guys, it really does help. Whenever I see people sharing the show, talking about it, hashtag misconceptions and things like that, whenever you share misconceptions on social platforms, I actually really do see an increase in listenership, downloads, things like that. So every share helps, but I just thank everybody who has shared this show. It really does help us out, and I really appreciate it. In other news, our anniversary is coming up pretty soon. It's going to be coming up in March. And we have some pretty awesome announcements that we are going to be making then. But I'm not saying anything yet. My lips are sealed. But I just wanted you all to know that our anniversary is coming up, and you should look forward to some really exciting announcements then. Now on to our shouts out this week. First up, our SoundCloud shouts out. Sam Wayward, Corey Beatty, James Lockamp. Anyways, Sam, Corey, James, thank you for joining our community on SoundCloud. I thank you that you are listening to the show. I hope you enjoy it. Hugs and kisses. And another shout out to a new iTunes reviewer, Frosted Nasher. Your review literally made me laugh out loud. Nothing says pacifist like a shotgun is perfect. And if we ever do t-shirts, you better believe that quote is going on there. So Frosted Nasher, thanks for your review. I'm glad you're liking the show.
I don't know how I ended up sitting in this bar a week later.
Alright, so that takes care of announcements for this week.
Everyone.
Let's go ahead and jump into the story.
Why I can't wear my flower crown anymore. What I'm doing with everyone. All I wanted to do was to bring peace and light and hope to the world. To stand up for my kids, and now I'm fighting the mafia? I don't understand where I've landed. But you probably don't care about that. You probably actually want to know about this alien that just walked through the door. Yeah, we're screwed.
Instead of picking up where we left off, we actually go back a few days. In fact, we go back a week. The screen is dark, and we hear the screech of tires. We hear some muffled shouting. We hear gunshots. We hear metal creaking. And then as the lights come up, we see the SUV chase from the warehouse district. There is a bullet-ridden van speeding down this narrow road with a not bullet-ridden van right behind them. We see vines shoot out from the dark corners of the alleys, wrap around the tires, and the SUV in the back comes to a screeching halt, and the one in front of them peels off into the night. We see a boot kick open the door, and Jimmy the Butcher steps out with his arm in a sling and his finger on the trigger of an Uzi, and he reaches around the corner of the door and fires off a rattle of shots, all ineffective, and then the SUV disappears around the corner. The rest of the mafia people spill out of the van.
They look at Jimmy and they say, well, boss, they got away. You want us to go get him? Jimmy replies, no, let him go. We got what we came here for. And he looks back at the 18-wheeler, which is just stalled in the middle of the road. And he says, leave that there. We need to get a new one. One of the crew says, well, we should take the gear back to the boss, right? And Jimmy says, no, I got some hunting to do. And then we have this montage of different scenes from around the city. We see a couple in their house, and all of a sudden we hear a knock on the door. Before they can even get to the door to open it, it's kicked open, and Jimmy the Butcher is right there. Behind him, we kind of see this shape in the darkness, and it's raining. We can't really tell what's happening. But with the staccato burst of his Uzi, we transition to the next shot. There is somebody running down an alleyway, and we see again this looming figure appear like in the street light, and it's reflected against the walls of the alleyway. And we see like this huge claw shape come down in the shadows, and we see like the splatter of blood. And then in the next scene, we see somebody like in the sewers, and it's a girl like in a leather jacket, and instead of hair, like her hair is like billowing out behind her in this like fire pattern, and like she raises up her fists and they're glowing bright. She looks like she's been fighting something. And again, we see this huge claw shadow come down, and we see her blood splatter against the wall. And then we transition to Faye and Rin walking into Morty's, and we see across the way there is a guy in a tracksuit kind of chilling in this, a Pinto. And he sees them walking in. He pulls out a phone and speaks into it. Hey, boss, I got him. We resume where we left off. The wall of Morty's explodes inward. Dust, brick fly everywhere. You see this almost armored claw reach out and dig into the linoleum tile, scratching it, leaving huge furrows where it was. Another claw comes and pulls something forward. You see the anvil-shaped head of this monster. It has jagged teeth, a protruding jaw. Its head is almost anvil-shaped, and it looks armor-plated. And along its, for lack of a better word, like the ridge of its skull, you see these holes, these nostrils that are flaring up as it sniffs and turns its head, but it has no eyes, and it turns and it's smelling in all the directions, kind of towards where you are. And Jimmy the Butcher stands behind it, his arm no longer in a sling, but his finger still on the Uzi of his what? His Uzi. Finger on the trigger of his Uzi. And he steps in and says, knock, knock, bitches. I've been looking for you for the past week. You haven't made yourself easy to find, laying low like the scum you are. You bunch of freaks. I finally got you right where I want you. And he looks right at Rin and Bill. And I'm going to give you some payback.
I'm making a shield. Like, that's...
Okay.
Use your words.
Yeah, use your words.
What? I'm making a shield. No, I wouldn't say that. I would just do it. Why would I?
Both Bill and Ren just slowly lift up their hand and flip them off.
In unison, both of you flip him off.
Is he like aiming at us? What's it like?
No. He's just talking threateningly at you.
Okay, as he's doing that, then Ren is going to be an idiot, and Bill is going to get up out of the booth and start making a shield out of his tattoos.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that he's like focused all of his attention on the booth and the two guys at this point.
Oh, well, where we ended, y'all were all in the booth together because y'all were talking. So you can have spilled out of the booth and you're kind of standing in the open area of the restaurant right now. Luckily, no one else is in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Or the pub.
Just as soon as it happened, like Esther was up, weapon out.
Okay.
Also, Bill grabbed Pepper when he stood up.
Okay. So you have shield in one hand and Pepper in the other?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Jimmy the Butcher actually looks at you, Esther, and goes, Never thought I would be in here again. Especially not in the current circumstances. Your father would be disappointed in you.
I shoot off a shot not at him, but just like, I don't know, like to go like to the side of him.
Okay,
Kind of thing.
so like a shot buries itself in the wall beside him. Says, Morty would have made that shot.
I'd have made it if I was trying to.
Who do you think is the most aware out of you all?
I'm just assuming me because I have the training from my dad.
As he's talking and as he's monologuing, you hear rustling, or maybe not rustling, but noise coming from the kitchen.
But she's the only one who hears it.
Yeah, she's the only one
Okay.
who hears it.
I'm going to assume that it could very possibly be James, and he doesn't know what he's walking into. So I'm going to be like getting into position to kind of be like blocking where anybody would be coming out of there, but not in such a way that like it looks like I don't know, like very stealthily, I guess.
Okay, so are you like slowly walking towards it, or are you just kind of rotating your body?
I think I'm rotating my body.
Okay, so you just move your body to kind of place yourself at a way where you can see Jimmy and the monster and the door to the kitchen.
Right.
Okay.
I'm trying to place myself in such a way. I mean, I'm the one, not that we don't all have things at risk, but like this is my livelihood that's just been taken over. So like I'm on the like taking in everything, like making sure that I'm keeping track of everything, like I'm on high alert.
Okay. As you do that, Jimmy the Butcher takes some jaunty steps like over the rubble and into the pub, very boisterous and like kind of flaunting himself. I didn't forget your faces from the dog pound. You ruined what should have been an easy operation, just like you freaks always do. And he smiles. But that's what makes my life so damn enjoyable, when I get to rub you freaks out.
Hope you enjoy what's left of it. I'm going to charge him.
And I'm going to say while he's doing that, Ren kneels down and like holds his hands to his forehead and then is trying to blow the light bulbs
Okay.
using the technopathy.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. All right, so I guess you're hitting him with all you've got, Bill. And you're rolling a change the game, Ren.
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say so.
Okay. Go ahead and roll those. What tags are you going to add?
I'm going to say technopathy, machine possession.
Okay. Not really machine possession.
Maybe everything is binary.
No, because this isn't a computerized object or anything that you're trying to blow. You're trying to use your brain to short circuit an electrical system.
Okay.
So I would say technopathy could work.
Okay.
But machine possession, you're not really possessing it, and it's not binary.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll that with a +1.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm using tattoo manipulation,
8.
Okay.
blunt force trauma, and kneecapper.
Okay. What'd you roll?
6.
12.
A 6.
Yeah.
And you got an 8. Okay. So as this is happening, Bill rushes forward with his tower shield, forming some weapon in his hand. He rushes at Jimmy the Butcher, and Rin, as he's doing that, you drop down, or you take a knee and kind of bring your hands up to your head and focus. You can feel the machine circuits working in your brain. You can feel the electrical pulses around you of the area, and you, for lack of a better term, you flex your brain muscles, and the lights go pop, 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 and go out. But as soon as you do that, as soon as you flex, you hear a and the monster like drags itself into the pub, destroying some of the ceiling and like forcing its way through this hole it's made. You see now it's about the size of a large car, and it starts dragging itself across the ground towards you, trying to fit into this small area. Take an alert 1 status, or an alerted 1 status. And as it's pulling itself towards you, Bill, you're kind of taken aback by how fastly it's moving, and it like bumps you, and you go to the side. And Jimmy the Butcher reaches out and grabs you by your shirt and tries to fling you into the street. Go ahead and roll a face the danger.
All right, and so now this is what I would put into it, yeah?
Yeah, this is how would you avoid getting grabbed by him?
Avoid getting grabbed or avoid taking damage from being thrown into the street?
Either one. Do you want to get thrown into the street and avoid getting hurt, or avoid getting thrown together?
I feel like that'd be easier for me, depending on how big this guy is.
He's a pretty big dude. Yeah. I would like you're big. You're not big, but you're kind of athletically built. Mm-hmm. This dude's like a big dude. Like he was big enough. Remember at the dog pound for you to like shove the things through his shoulder and then like ride him like a horse.
I think what I'll try to do then is like he's gonna grab my shirt. It just went dark. I'm like discombobulated, okay. So he's gonna grab my shirt and then he's gonna throw me. Uh-huh. But as I'm like flying through the air, I still have my tower shield out. So I'm banking on being able to gain enough control to like do a shield roll as I land and kind of stand back up and start running back.
Okay.
Towards them.
Okay.
So I guess tattoo, tower shield, probably tattoo manipulation. Those are the only 2 that I could think. 6.
6? Really?
Yeah, I'm just gonna die.
Positive.
So you he grabs you and you're taken back by how quickly he got to you as well, and he just flings you with both hands through the hole in the wall. You try to bring up your shield, but you're just so discombobulated and just spinning and everything, you don't know where you're ending up, and then you feel your back slam against a car in the street, and you take a banged up 1 status. And then he appears in the dark alley, not dark alleyway, but the dark hallway looking down on you. This is gonna be fun. Ren, what did you roll? What was your power for your change the game move?
It was 8.
8, okay. So go ahead and you get 1 juice from one of those things from change the game. What do you want? Well, I guess you're creating a story tag with a power of 2. So do you want to do a lights out 2?
Yeah. I think that'd be a good one.
Okay.
Now, is the alerted tag, is that good for me or bad for me?
No, that is a tag against you.
Okay.
I guess it would be a status that you have taken.
So this thing is like keen into people's powers, because as he's flexing his muscle and using his powers, then it's like, yeah, I know. I'm just speaking up.
Yeah, I cannot say.
It seems like he's killing Mythoi.
You two, what do you do, girls?
So, nope, not Faye yet. So as all of this is happening,
yeah, the lights go out. You hear, donk, and
yeah, basically like that.
There would be light, there would be some light spilling in from.
Oh yeah, I
outside,
guess
right?
yeah,
So
there is some light.
silhouetted.
It's dim lighting right now.
right.
So like
Yeah.
more film.
So Faye like slings her bag to the front, pulls out her essential oils that she makes at home through her plants, pours like lavender and all the calming ones on a napkin, starts crawling over to the monster, and is gonna start reasoning with him and like wafting the lavender oil.
Okay, so how are you? What move are you wanting to do then?
Yes. Hang on. Let me pull this. Change the game,
this-
maybe?
Take the risk, perform a daring, risky, or outright stupid feat.
Yeah, take the risk for sure. Okay, so Faye like calmly and like her heart's pounding, but she's trying to maintain this calm composure because that's what animals need, right? It's like this calm thing. So she walks up to monster / alien / whatever this is. Can I tell if this has been like factory made or like is an alien of some sort? Or
That's an interesting. If you wanted to figure that out, you would need to roll and investigate.
can I do both right now, or do I have to choose one?
Do one.
Oh man, I don't care that much. Okay, we'll find out later. So she comes up to it and starts not whispering, because obviously there are loud things going on, but like talking very like calmly. And he's like, I know you're scared. I know that they've hurt you. I know that they're trying to make you do things that you don't necessarily want to do, but we can set you free. We can get you home. We can give you a good life if you just help us out. We will get you out of this scenario. And she's wafting the essential oils at him.
It should be noted that at this point, like, Esther's rolling her eyes hardcore.
And I'm going to use Herbal Infliction and Reason with Animals.
Okay. So what'd you roll total?
An 8.
An 8? Okay. Actually, you know what? This would be a convince. Okay. So you're trying to convince him to do something. So you throw yourself on the ground, make this concoction with this napkin, and start crawling over to it, and you start like wafting this napkin underneath its huge proboscis, and that's a nose. And you're like, "Hey, it's okay. Just calm down." That was more of an Australian accent, but so you're trying to reason with this thing, and it will divert its attention from Rin for a second, and it turns to you, and it like lowers its head down towards the concoction that you've made, and you see its nostrils. So Esther, this is all happening. You heard some noise in the kitchen. Where do you go?
So at this point, who is Jimmy focused on? Like, is he still
Bill.
looking at my direction? He's
No,
totally,
he threw
he's
Bill
totally
outside.
still.
Oh, yeah.
He's totally focused
Yeah.
on that.
Shoot him in the head.
So, and Ren is still down on the ground. And Faye's down on the ground with the thing.
I'm so glad you did that, because I was straight up just going to shoot the monster.
With your pacifist gun.
It's not a pacifist.
I know, I'm just kidding.
It's just immobilizing.
I guess I'm gonna take a shot at Jimmy, but I'm not gonna shoot him in the head.
In the head.
I'm not gonna shoot him in the head because he knows my dad.
Okay.
He knows something about my dad. So I just need him wounded and no longer a threat at this point. So
you're hitting with all you've got.
okay, and I'm gonna use the Rested Trusted Colt Cobra and maybe life lessons, because, like, I mean,
Dad taught you how to shoot?
yeah. I mean,
Do you have
yeah,
Daddy's Little Fighter anymore?
Yeah, I have Daddy's Fighter. I wasn't sure if
use that one instead of
Okay.
Life Lessons.
because I saw that one as more of like a fist fight kind of thing, but if you say it works. So, would any of my injured tags affect this? Because I always forget to do that.
Yes. Like taking any physical action, like lifting your hand up to shoot with all the injuries that you've had, your hands are shaking from and bruised from where you are. The recoil of the gun when you shoot and all your bruised muscles would affect that, yeah.
So, 8.
8? Okay. So you hit them with a status. So in that list, you get to choose one.
Okay.
And it's you hit them with a status with tier equals power. So here's power 2. So you're hitting them with a 2 status.
I guess I want to do the you get them good, so I'm going to up
step
it
it
even
up to
one
a
more.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a status with that on there. Okay. So you fire the gun, and it hits him in the side, and Bill, from where you're sitting, you see like the shot pass through his ribs, probably cracking a few.
So does it go all the way up to 3? Okay.
And he falls, or he doesn't fall to his knees, but he just clutches his side and kind of staggers forward, and he says, Damn freaks. Why can't you just go down easy? And Bill, when he says this, you see his eyes kind of flare up for a second, and like you're not sure if they're veins or cracks in his skin. Like you vaguely see them in his eyes, but then they disappear quickly. Yeah.
When he says that, Esther just kind of gets a smirk on her face because she like is like, yeah, you know my dad, and like you thought that I wasn't gonna be as tough as he was, but like I got you. And so just like a little smirk because she's like, yeah.
Okay. And at this moment, you hear the back door to the kitchen is kicked open, and you hear footsteps in the kitchen.
I'm going to say that Ren
Whose turn is it?
goes, well,
It's not really a.
Yeah, it's whoever.
No, but I mean, like, everyone still has to go.
Yeah, I think
before-
everybody has gone
Okay.
because you ran at him, they grabbed you, you turned the lights off, you threw a napkin in his face, and she shot him in the back or the ribs.
So like he's down at this point.
No, he's not down.
He's clutching
But
his side.
He's clutching his side and still standing. You actually probably shot him in the same side that he had his arm slinged up in, so now he's just holding that side. So me saying that he didn't have a sling was for nothing.
Here's the handle. Here's the stuff. Sorry, that's what you looked like. Yeah, here.
Thank you. All right, who's going?
I'm going to say that Ren hears the like door being kicked in and immediately looks over, puts his like hand towards his eyes, and then like turns on his scanner vision to see
Okay.
who's or maybe not who's in there, but how many people are in there.
Okay. You turn it on, and you see 4 silhouettes working their way through the like the kitchen towards the pub area.
Are these adult silhouettes?
You don't know that.
No, I'm asking.
You see 4 silhouettes.
Yep. I would assume they're like 4 burly silhouettes or something.
I'm assuming they're like what they saw in Roswell.
All right, so is that all you're gonna do?
Yeah, what?
That, I mean, can I do another action, I guess?
Yeah, you could. You haven't rolled yet.
Oh yeah,
That was pretty easy. You just turn and flip it on.
I'm going to run up to the bar and then hide on that bar and then have my gun ready to shoot whoever comes through the doorway.
Okay, so you get up, and as you do, you've touched your head, and then you did your scanner goggles, and you looked in and saw, and as soon as you did that, like the animal or whatever it is, like snapped from its attention, and is going to slam down on you with one of his claws.
Thanks, Tess.
Go ahead and roll a face danger, but take a -1 for that alert. Actually,
Okay.
up that alert to a 2.
Or just keep it at a 1.
Do you see what's happening?
And then you get a -2 to your face danger.
Oh, sweet. I got 2.
Oh, man. Okay, so you look over, tap your head, you see the people coming through, and you're like, oh, I got him. And as you get up, you feel the crushing weight of this massive claw that's almost as big as you, like, catch you and slam you into the ground. You take a crushed 3 status, and you're pinned underneath this weight. And the monster opens up its mouth and lets out this roar. I don't know if I want to roar.
Do it.
And he just holds you right there, and his mouth is inches from your face, and you actually look up, and his mouth is almost like a shark's mouth. It just has lines and rows of teeth just like going all along its mouth or whatever. It's actually very scary for me because I have a fear of like that. But anyways,
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
who else? Bill?
I'm gonna like hop up and then say, well, based on whatever that was just now on you ugly mug, you may be a bit of a freak yourself. And then I'm gonna run at him. Is he gonna say anything? I don't know.
He's holding his side and kind of bleeding through it. He is bleeding. I need to stop saying kind of. He's holding his side and the blood is leaking through his fingers. But he looks up at you and gives you a what kind of look?
Well, he's about to give me a kind of look. So I am going to be. I'm crafting a bat,
Okay.
my right hand, and I'm still having my elongated shield in my left hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hit him in his side. Is that an advantage at all? Like, that I am curious
Yeah,
about.
since you're going to target that, yeah.
So would I just get like a plus whatever?
Plus,
Because see, that's where it gets...
yeah, go,
it shouldn't be-
since you're targeting it, a +1.
Okay. And I'm going to use basic tattoo weapons and blunt force trauma because I'm creating a baseball bat. And then kneecapper because like that... I mean, I'm not hitting his knee, but that like is implied in being able to rough people up.
Oh my gosh. Snake eyes!
Hold on. We haven't added everything in yet.
Yeah, add it in.
So it's 5 plus 3, it's 8, that's 6.
6, okay. So you run, and you have this awesome one-liner, and you, I'm gonna make you say ah! And then he catches your bat, and he tightens his grip on it. You try to jerk back, but he has you in his hand, and he looks at you, and he's just gonna, with his hand still grasping his Uzi, he's just gonna like bop you in the bridge of your nose. So roll a face danger.
Okay. I'm going to use my tower shield since it's in my left hand for this exact reason. And, I mean, that's probably all I can use.
Okay.
I think he's trying to kill us and make new characters.
Now I roll good. Whatever.
What'd you get?
11.
Okay, yeah. So he comes down, and you raise your shield, and it boonk, and you see that same look in his eyes. His eyes flare up with that light, and you can't tell if it's veins or cracked skin. Like it ekes out even further from his eyes, pouring down over his cheeks and up onto his head. He's like, "You damn freaks!" And as he opens his mouth, you can see like there's this hollow light coming from like almost the back of his throat as he's like freaking out. Yeah. That was your move. Who else?
So Faye's like, dang it. I tried, bud. Stands up. No, she doesn't stand up. She like kneels down on her knee, puts her hand on the ground, and is going to use the roots from all of the plants that are surrounding the building to put a crack down basically the middle of the building in between the monster and Ren. And then, assuming the roll is enough, hits the wall that the 4 guys are about to come in, and it kind of cracks as well. So she does like basically a valley. Does that make sense? You're looking at me, you're like,
yeah, describe it. I actually zoned out because I was just thinking about how awesome the scene is. So you're creating a rift. Like, are you creating the roots that go through it, or are you like cracking open the ground?
Cracking open, like creating.
So
a
you're
divide.
creating a rift in between you and the
Hopefully you
entrance
have
to the kitchen.
Business owner's insurance.
Don't worry, that part's coming. No, like if here is monster, here is Ren, then the crack would like separate them.
Oh, you're going to separate them. But what were you talking about the kitchen?
Oh, I just thought if the roll was high enough that the crack would reach where the guys are about to come in and like.
And separate them. So you're
Right,
wanting to
right.
like separate the beast and the men from y'all. Okay. Go ahead.
Cool.
Change the game probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plant growth, and the more the merrier, because I have all of the plants around the whole building. Yeah, I think that's all I have. Please. Oh, and as she, well, actually, hang on, let me roll it first. 9.
9. Okay.
9.
And your power was 2, so you get juice 2.
No, that's with the. Oh, wait, just kidding.
The tags you added in were 2.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, you don't know anybody's coming through the kitchen.
Oh, okay. So she like goes to do it, kneels down on like one knee, throws her hand on the ground, screams, "Sorry, Esther," and then like lets out a blood curdling scream as it like. And I'll let you take it from
How
there.
does the blood curdling scream sound?
Yeah.
David had to roar.
Take your headphones off.
Viewers, you might want to turn down your headphones at this moment.
It's not gonna be that good. She just doesn't. Oh, I don't know.
It's weird.
So, what was the cracked earth?
Cracked earth 2. Okay. So yeah, you thrust your hand down. You feel this rumble underneath the concrete, and the very pub splits open, and you can see almost like these huge earthen fingers, the roots of
the roots from all these trees and plant life coming up out from the linoleum, wrapping around the top of the linoleum and like pulling apart like these giant hands. The foundation shakes, the roof is shaking, there's debris falling and everything. And as you do that, you create a rift in between the beast and Rin, and the beast actually lets go of Rin as he backs up and kind of looks around. But as you do that, it turns to you, the nostrils flare, and you take an alerted 1 status.
Got it.
Where the earth is cracked, where am I at in reference to that? Like,
Where do you want to be?
standing right over it. Like, so now it's split under my
you're
feet.
split? Like you're doing the split? Okay.
He's got
Yeah, you can hear them grunting
He's
and
got
going
Bill
at it
in his.
the
So are
doorway.
they out of my sight at this point?
No, I
No.
mean, if you turn your head, you'd look at them there, and then if you turn and look to your left, you see the scene with the monster going on, and then the other
Are you like
4
by the
people are
bar?
behind
You'd
you.
be.
Yeah, because you position yourself to see the bar and to see them. But turning to shoot at him, you like turned your back to the doorway to the kitchen, but you heard something back there. Rin didn't say anything about 4 people. You just saw him get flattened by the creature.
So you don't know about the silhouettes?
Yeah.
She did hear something, though, didn't she?
No, she heard something, and she heard a rustling, and then she heard the door getting kicked open. She just doesn't know who it is, and nobody knows who it is really.
So she's standing as the ground cracks underneath her. Damn it, Faye! She still has her gun pointed at Jimmy. And she looks back to look at the door to see if anybody's coming in. Does she see anybody?
The door is closed. Like there's like the swinging door that goes into the galley. or
But I'm
whatever.
assuming that there's like a window into that swinging door. So do I see anything? Does she see anything?
Not with the lights out, no.
She's going to turn back and take another shot at Jimmy.
Okay.
But my question is I would be able to shoot Jimmy without shooting Bill, yes?
Yeah, because Jimmy's
I'm
this
behind the
big
tower,
dude.
too, or tower
yeah,
shield.
and tower shield, and like they're like locked in this cool struggle, like where they're each holding like each other's hand. It's like a comic book scene where like they're fighting and they each like have the upper
Yeah.
hand on each other.
So I'm going to be shooting at the other side of Jimmy. So I shot him on the one side and now I want to hit him on the other
Okay.
side.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to use the same 2 as last time, which just evens me out because I have my whatever. 8.
Okay. Hit with all you've got. The same tier power, so it's another 2 status.
I mean, does 2 take him down? Like, I mean, like it's hitting him pretty hard, or
I mean, you don't know how much damage he can take, but you hurt him pretty good with that earlier shot. You cracked a few of his ribs, and like the bullet passed out the other side.
I'm gonna step it up to a 3.
Okay, another 3. Mm-hmm. Esther, you shot him in that side, and you turn back. You can't see anything. Your bar's getting wrecked. You just click down the hammer again and fire, and his lower back, almost his hip, and Bill, you can feel like some of the blood like splatter against your pants, and he falls to his knees, and you see blood kind of dribbling out of his mouth, and his eyes are kind of slowly closing. This isn't how I go out. This is how I go out. And then his eyes open back up, and they're all red or orange, and those cracks in his skin spread all the way down his face. You see the pigmentation of his skin fades away. It almost becomes like this gray, like this cement. The gaping wounds that he had in his side and now in his hip, instead of blood, it starts to coagulate and almost flow like magma coming out. And he opens his mouth, and like the blood that was coming out of his mouth is magma, and he like opens it up, and just like this lava flow gushes out of his mouth, and he says, "You're all dead." And then he stands up, and he almost seems like taller than he was before. And he's like towering over you and pushing you down towards the ground.
All right, it's time to kill him.
Bill, go ahead and roll a face of danger as he's just trying to crush you underneath his weight.
Press these.
Got him.
Well, I will say I'm still using my shield, holding it above my head to try to not get crushed, and I will use till I collapse. Because if he crushes me, I assume that I will die. Like, not... If a magma monster is trying to crush me, and there's nothing that is going to get in the way of me accomplishing my goals, and that means staying alive. So my willpower will come from that motivation.
Okay.
All right, so that is a 7. I'm dead.
Okay. He forces you down, and you feel this crushing, massive weight of his muscles bearing down on you. You rolled an 8, so you take a crushed 2 status.
Jeez.
And actually you feel like heat radiating from his skin and from the blood that's pouring out of him. You take a burned 1 status.
Oh, get out of here.
So he's bearing down on you, he's looking down on you, and you actually like look at your tower shield, and the gun that was there, he's like crumpled it in his hand, and it's like a melted glob of metal, and he's staring down at you. I'm gonna crush you into the dirt.
I'm gonna say, I don't know. I want to say that Ren like just kind of falls into the crevice, and then uses that as cover to just attempt to shoot an immobilizing energy shot at the monster.
Okay. So you slip into the crevice that she's created, and you bring out your gun, and you just...
I'll use immobilizing energy and scanner vision since the lights are out. 11 plus 2 is 13 minus 3, so 10.
10. Okay. So that's a hit with all you've got. You rolled a 10 plus, so you're automatically doing a tier with what was your power?
2.
2. So you're automatically doing a 2 status to him. What other 2 things do you want to do from that list?
I'm gonna take I'm gonna take cover, and then get them good and add another tier. So
okay,
3.
so you take cover and you hit him with a tier 3 status. Reduce that tier by 1. So you unload these shots into his hide, and it's almost like the armor of his skin is soaking up your damage. The bullets, or not the bullets, but like the energy coalesce and spark across his hide. You hit him, but this damage is being reflected by some of his armor, or deflected.
Okay.
Would be a better way to say it. So you do that, and then step up that alerted by 1 step.
Oh gosh.
So not to 3 yet, but you're almost there.
I'll go next. Do I see... No. I will say I see a fire hydrant nearby since I'm out on the street. I said, well, this has been nice, but I think you need to cool off. And I'm going to run over to the fire hydrant and make a wrench tool with my left hand and a valve with my right hand. And I'm going to attempt to open the fire hydrant and like aim the valve.
First,
what?
You need to get out from underneath his weight.
That's
Because
the
like
thing.
he's pushing you down.
Wait, didn't he just take damage from somebody else though? Wouldn't that have affected his?
No, he hasn't been
the
hit.
monster.
Well, he hit her, or she hit.
You hit the monster.
Yeah.
I was gonna help you if you want me to go first.
All right, go first.
Okay.
Did you hear that part? Aiming for the nostrils.
Well, he was dying.
Yeah.
Everyone thought you'd help him.
He's not hearing much of anything besides the pounding of his own heart in his ears, and the laughter of his children. Damn.
David, roll a face danger.
Does Ren have a non-pacifist gun on him currently?
Nope.
Okay.
The only gun he has.
I've got a shotgun,
his special
and
one.
rifle, basically.
You're not close enough to me, and you're not going to give me your gun.
There's no
After
shotgun
you
under the
busted
bar?
My bar. Well, we talked about that on the side over here,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking that there's probably a gun, like by the cash register.
Do you want to do a flashback scene?
Yes.
What you
But
can
I
do
can't.
once per scene.
No, because I can't get
What's
to the
perception?
register.
You can. It's on the right side of the rift.
Yeah,
the
just
rift,
jump
the
across
rift, like the rift split the whole restaurant.
I mean, 'cause no one's paying attention to. I mean, not in a bad way, but like none of the bad guys are paying attention to you
Right,
at this point.
right,
So
right.
like you could do that.
It just would take me 2 turns to like go get it and then help you.
You can
plus-
move- you can. I thought you could move as a free action.
It's not a free action. Just do it cinematically. What looks cool?
Sure, but also I'm injured, so I haven't moved because I'm so injured that if I try to do an action,
Yeah, if you did any strenuous, like Tom Cruise jumping over with one hand
Right.
over that countertop, yeah, you would apply that injured status to that. It's just narrative. So like, would what I'm doing right now, would it be affected by my current emotional or physical state?
No, I'm not, because I'm really afraid that it's not going to work and then you're just going to be stuck.
Esther? Just kidding.
Wait, I still have
Oh,
another
sorry.
plan.
I didn't. I thought you were just saying no. You know, good luck. Like you're.
No, I just wasn't going to like jump over the counter, get the gun, then try to shoot him. Like that's a lot of trisks.
Tricks are for kids.
But your vines could get the gun. Sorry.
I thought about that too, but I'd have to roll twice.
Yeah, that's
We haven't
true.
established that the gun is there yet.
Right.
Your face established.
So, anyways, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do now.
Okay.
We would have established it had we needed to.
So, naturally, they're outside, so there are trees and stuff like that. So, I'm going to will the tree to take one of its branches and just smack the guy on the top of the head and make him like fall back because he just got hit
Okay.
on the top.
Roll a change the game to create this this tree servant for you.
The int.
Yeah, an int as it were. Tree
I
beard
really
walks around the
only
corner.
have like the whole mind control thing, so just one.
So what are you adding? Just mind control?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't technically it's plant growth, I guess, but 7.
7. Okay. So you create a story tag of a tree servant of 1, because that was your power. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you have a power tag for tree servant 1.
Tree
Now-
servant.
Well, whatever you want to call it.
I know, I like that.
Tree friend.
Shambling mount.
Shambling
Oh my
mound.
gosh.
So now roll your hit with all you've got with that.
Oh, okay.
And what else are you rolling into it?
Well, that for one thing.
Yeah. So tree friend.
I don't think I have anything else.
Okay.
Hang on, let me check.
What did you use to create the tree friend?
Just my nature, like plant growth
Could you-
I
tag.
think you would still use that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
9.
Okay, 9. All right, that's a hit with all you've got. What was your power? 2? Mm-hmm. So you're hitting with a tier 2 status. And which of those 1 do you want to take?
You take the target's attention.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I get his attention, so now
Okay.
he's turned toward me.
So this tree lumbers around the corner and reaches up with this huge tree trunk limb and just whoop, boom, and you can feel the rock of his body against yours. Well, this just got sexual. And you feel the concussive blast like go through the ground, and Jimmy the Butcher like looks up. He takes his hands off you and looks up at this tree, and you can see like the steam coming off of his shoulders. And in fact, the tree branch is a little withered where it hit him across the shoulders. But yeah, so that's happening. Treebeard has joined the party.
I've already said what I've said. I'm not going to re-say it.
Okay, you need to cool off. All right, go.
You need to cool off. And then I'm going to run over to the fire hydrant.
Go.
And I'm going to use my wrench that I made with my tattoo manipulation.
With your simple constructs, okay.
my simple constructs. And I'm going to...
Oh, okay. I thought you were like wanting to like bash it open.
No.
That's what I was thinking. Just kick it open and
I mean, but if I can literally craft the tools to like use it if quickly.
Yeah. So you can do that, but roll to change the game to do it.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
To create a more complex, because a wrench isn't a simple tool. A simple tool is like a hammer.
I would say wrench and hammer in the same category, but that's okay. I'm not like making a socket wrench. But I'll roll to change the game, I guess. Risk taker, tattoo manipulation. Because I don't know if this is going to work.
Tattoo manipulation. I don't know about risk taker though.
When can I use risk takers if not when using risk?
Right now you're creating a construct.
Yeah.
So you're creating this thing.
Yeah.
When you try to manipulate it and then use it on the fire hydrant.
Just create the construct?
Yeah.
That's what I
That's what she
Tessa did with the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
go
got
ahead and
control
roll.
of the tree, and then I used
Roll to
the tree.
create the wrench, and then you will roll to undo the fire hydrant.
It'll give you another tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't have to wait for another turn. You'll
Yeah.
do both of these at the same turn.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah.
What Tessa just did.
Yeah.
Well, I'm used to just making stuff and then use it like.
Yes. I will allow you just to do like, I create a sap, or was it a bat? What do you roll?
I guess a 6 because it's just tattoo manipulation.
Just the one? Okay. So you do not form a wrench, but you form some sort of crude, like club or hammer thing, and you're running towards the fire hydrant.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna whack it then.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a. I would say change the game,
Yeah.
because it's not just that you're hitting him with the status. You're going to create something that will impede him. So go ahead and roll change the game with the appropriate tags.
All right. I'm going to, I guess, use basic tattoo weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Do I still get a card for that weird amalgamation I created?
No.
Okay. And I'll
But you do
use-
have tattoo manipulation.
I'm gonna use blunt force trauma because I'm
Okay.
whacking it as hard as I can, and I'm using risk taker.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3, 7, 10.
10. All right. So change the game. You get how many tags? It was 3.
Yeah.
So you get 3 juice, and you can choose from that entire list, from top and bottom.
I guess I would create a story tag because I'm making a fire hydrant that's like spewing water to aim at that guy.
Yeah.
I want to. I want to make it ongoing. No.
So like it's a
Yeah.
torrent coming out.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not just like a one-time thing. I just want this torrent of water. Sorry, Esther. I just want this torrent of water. And I don't know how to give a status with this. Oh. Never mind. I was going to say, can I reduce a status? Just get water on my burns? But no.
Oh, you could
Oh, hell yeah.
if you wanted to take that away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what are you doing?
I am bashing open the fire hydrant. Because there'll be like 2 valves, and one of them's going to be facing
Yeah.
the bar. That's the one I'm knocking off. Next round, I'll try to make a valve and like aim it specifically. But right now, I'm just hoping that it hits him, kind of a thing.
Okay. So you're doing create a story tag.
Yeah.
So gushing hydrant 1,
Yeah.
and then you're hitting him with the status.
Right.
So I don't know what you want to call it. Drink of water, chilled out,
Cooled off.
Cool dog.
cooled off, and then you reduce your burn status as well. So some of the water splashes onto where you are feeling the burn from his hands, and you feel a little relief.
Cool. And so we've got cooled off 1.
So you run over, you try to form this wrench, but in everything that's happening, you just can't focus enough to do it. And in just a fit of frustration, you just bring this club amalgamation down on the valve, and it gushes open, and you feel the sweet relief of water against your skin, but also this torrent of water just rushes out and strikes Jimmy the Butcher full in the chest, and there's this huge plume of steam that comes off of his body as this wave hits him, and he's like trying to swat at the water to like keep it off of him. But it's not working very well because that's not how water works.
So at this point, Esther feels like she can finally take her focus off of Jimmy, and she is going to move towards the door.
To the kitchen?
Right.
Okay.
She's trying to, like, get in sight of the kitchen without the kitchen getting in sight of her, if you know what I mean. So she's just trying to see if she can, like, I don't know. I don't want to just bust in there. There's, like, because I don't know what's in there.
You take cover behind the bar?
But if I do that, I won't be able to see in.
There's a little viewport where, like, you talk to James and get your orders and stuff.
Okay, then I'm going to move stealthily behind the bar. And I'm looking to see what's going on in the kitchen.
Okay, go ahead and roll a sneak around to get behind the bar stealthily without anyone noticing.
Well, I can use Morty's bar as a tag because I am in Morty's bar. And then I'm wondering if I can use investigate because I'm like sneaking around like as
Not investigative. But what was your other one?
well Morty's bar. And maybe I'll go ahead and use I don't know, now I kind of want to do surface thoughts, but that wouldn't really make sense
No.
except for that I'm moving closer and I want to know who's in there. But so I guess
This
it's
is this is
Morty's
just
bar.
to
I know.
get behind it unseen.
Got a 5. And you probably want me to take my statuses away.
The rules want you to take your stats into it. Okay.
I know,
so
but
you
sometimes no. I mean, in this case, I think you're right, but
so you rush towards the counter and you're trying to flip over it, and as you do, the door swings open, and the very four from the pier come in with their guns, and they see Esther rolling across the bar to get to behind it to get to cover, and they see you and they see Faye, and they're going to divide their attention and shoot at the both of you. So both of you roll face of danger.
I'm gonna use Daddy's fighter,
Okay.
and I don't know. I feel like I could still use the bar to my advantage.
Okay. So what would it be?
Just that I know exactly where things are and everything, so like I know how to quickly get behind something or like have something like
What tag would you add?
what do you
Morty's.
mean?
What tag are you adding?
Morty's bar.
Okay. I just didn't hear you say what tag it was.
I said
Or
it.
you said I want to use this. I was like, what tag?
Oh, well, I said it.
Okay, so Daddy's Fighter, Morty's Bar.
Zach, you're such an idiot.
Do I have to use my
Hey,
injured?
no
Am I
mercy.
using my injured on this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So 11.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so you duck behind it and the bullets ricochet off the bar. They do not hit you, but you hear the wooden counter of your dad's bar splintering underneath these bullets as you are safely tucked up underneath it. Faye, what about you?
As soon as I see them lift their guns, I'm gonna roll into the crack, since I'm right next to it. I whipped there to roll.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else I can do, to be honest.
Ooh. So what was that?
Well, it was a 5 with... Nope, there wasn't any tag, actually. Cracked Earth. Wait, is that 2? Do I get that 2 tag?
Yeah, because you could be using it.
Okay, and then the beat up and shot up is my arm and my shin. So would that factor in? Okay, so those cancel each other out then. So I got a 4.
Okay.
So can I react before it happens at this point?
How?
So as I'm going, I can see that 2 of them are focused on me and 2 of them are focused on Faye because I've been on high alert this whole time. Like, this is what my dad trained me for, kind of thing. And so as I'm doing that, I want to, like, take a shot at the guys that are going to be shooting at her. Because, like, I know I'm going to, like, handle my own, but I got to watch out for her.
Okay, so what are you wanting to do? are you wanting to?
So I'm assuming they don't shoot simultaneously, like not exactly simultaneously. So I'm thinking they saw me first, so those two guys were shooting at me. I rolled under there, and like that took like a split second, and then the other guys are focused. They saw Faye, and now they're focused on her. And as they're firing their shot, like right before that, I'm gonna fire my shot at them.
Okay. So you're wanting to give her an advantage to her roll?
I mean, I'm wanting to shoot them, but you don't want me to do that. So I'm guessing I'll just give her an advantage to her roll and distract them with a shot that isn't aimed at anybody. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it. Change the game. So as you're rolling, you shoot off a warning shot and kind of distract the ones that are shooting at Esther.
But why would she shoot a warning shot if she knows there are people that are trying to kill her? Why wouldn't she just shoot them?
It's okay. I roll a 12, so you can do with it what you want.
Okay, so you got a dynamite? Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Needed that.
let me look at what a dynamite move is real quick.
You kill them both with one bullet. You shoot them through the throat.
I mean, I guess
All four.
technically it's an 11.
Okay, so you like roll across the counter, and as you're rolling, it's this really cool scene. Like you're upside down, you look down the barrel of the gun, you fire, and the bullet strikes one of their guns, and it like bumps into the one next to them, and so their shots going for Faye like go off wildly, and as they try to like fix it, their guns are jammed.
As my bullet like ricochets off of them, it goes straight into the bullseye of the dartboard across.
Nice. I like it. So it goes ding. Yeah.
Just like nails
totally
it right
does.
in the bullseye.
And the shots that they do that miss me go into the monster, and
No.
the monster's now dead.
And scene.
Oh wait, the beast hasn't gone yet.
Oh.
So like it's going to reach in with its claws. It can't really get to you with its anvil head because it's not big enough to fit into the crack. But like pushes its head as far as it can into the crack, and it's going to take its claws and start trying to swipe at you.
But I have a secure position.
And little arms. That's what I'm picturing.
Oh yeah, you do have a secure position. So yeah, it does that, and it just can't get to you. So it's just
Okay.
smashing its face into the hole and like reaching out with its claws, digging at the dirt, and cannot get to you. Have a big head and little arms. That's basically what's happening. Okay, who's going?
I'm going to go. Tell me if this is even possible. There's loose wires in this crevice. And so I'm going to grab them, and I'm going to imagine that there's a fryer next to these burly men.
We're going to turn it into a
What I'm
coffee
thinking
shop now.
is I like grab these wires and basically like short circuit or like take control of the like fryers and stuff and like make them explode to like distract them. To take the focus off of Faye and Esther.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and what tags are you going to add?
I would say machine possession and technopathy.
Technopathy, definitely. Your machine possession, I'm not sure exactly how that would work. Because the way I'm thinking of it is like you transfer your consciousness into a machine and you possess it. So like maybe going into like some meditative state, a la like almost Doctor Strange, where you go into the astral plane, but you're instead of projecting into the astral plane, you're projecting it into a machine.
I'm making the machine very angry and wanting to explode. Okay.
Yeah, I guess go ahead and roll it
Okay.
with that +2.
Does the alerted count for this one?
No.
Okay. Okay, so 10.
Okay, so 10. So you focus, and you manipulate the fryers and things in the kitchen, and they all start going off at the same time. Lights start flashing. They increase their temperature. It's bubbling. I guess it already would have been going because you were in business, and so maybe you increase it even more. And like now, oil is like spitting out and everything, and there's all this cacophonous noise coming from the kitchen, and so the the mafia people like turn around like, "Huh, what's that?" And the two that are like fiddling with their gun like look up from what they're doing, like, "What?"
So at this point, they're all distracted. So I'm gonna fire off a shot at. Well, really, what I really want to do is make everything stop because they're destroying my bar. But,
Which tags can you burn?
well, no, it's not that so much. I just want to I don't know.
When you burn a tag, can you never get that tag back?
No, because she burned a tag with her ring to inspire calm whenever she was affecting Rin, but then she did her meditation. She just had to spend her photo montage to get it back instead of doing it to
So that's
recover
why I
her
brought it
health
back.
or anything.
I saw it erased and I was really confused.
Yeah. So she can get it back by spinning a photo montage to do that.
Does the tag I burn have to do with anything that I'm doing?
Yes. Like you can't say, "I want to drive away safely, so I burn my revolver tag." No, it has to be something related to what you want to do.
Okay, I'm gonna burn a tag. And I'm real upset about it, but it's fine. So I'm gonna burn reason with animals and take control of the monster.
Whoa. Okay. How does this work?
So I'm gonna crawl out of. I guess I don't even have to crawl out because he's over. No, I will. I'm gonna crawl out and go just sit cross-legged next to him, and say a lot of the same things that I was saying before. So I'm gonna sit down with him and say I told you we'll get you where you need to be. I told you we'll get your home and we'll stop all of the hurt. But I'll add something to it. If you help us get rid of these guys, if you help us get out, then we will help you kill whoever your master has been. Or if it's Jimmy, the evil guy in the yard, then you can just kill him right now and we'll help you get rid of him.
Okay. So are you trying to take the reins of this monster with your mind, or are you trying to convince it to be on your side?
Opinions? Anyone?
It'll be a new Kevin.
I just assumed you were wanting to take over its mind because if you're gonna burn a tag, that's what I assumed you were gonna do.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna take it over with my mind.
Okay. So you crawl out of the pit, and with, I guess, a little bit of blood trickling out of your nose, 11 style, your eyes go blank and white, and the monster the monster rears up for a second, and its nostrils flare, and its mouth is hanging agape for a second, and it turns to you, and you turn to it, and there are no words spoken that anyone can hear, but then you and the monster both turn in unison to the mafia people. You are controlling this thing. You can see, not really through its mind, but it can see through your eyes, and you can sense the things around it. You can sense these mystical energies of your teammates and the mystical energy that is manifesting in Jimmy. You can even smell the mafia people. There's nothing unique or magical about them like your companions or Jimmy, but you can sense them and where they are.
So the monster's gonna pick up its claw and just knock down all 4 of the mafia and boom, just lay its claw on
Okay, go ahead and roll a hit with all you've got.
Right, because you're hitting multiple people.
Huh?
Since you're hitting multiple. Mm-hmm. Since you're hitting multiple people, it'd be hit with all you got.
Yeah. That's it. Hit with all you've got.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Hit with all you've got, but with a plus. I guess a +3.
Okay.
Nice.
12.
Oh my gosh. So this move is dynamite. So you turn around. There's almost this. There's this otherworldly glow about you, and the pub is illuminated for a second. And Esther and Rin look at you for a second, and you're not wearing your normal clothes. There's this billowing dress coming off of you, and around your head, instead of a flower crown, is this circlet of gold, and it's interwoven, almost like vines. You you're still Fae, but this is not a Fae that anyone has ever seen before. And you stretch out with your hand, and it's like this glowing visage, almost ghostly, and you reach out towards them, and the monster rushes forward with this animalistic speed and rears back with its claw and just bowls them over. There's almost this gory scene of it digging its claws into the mafia, and they all fall to the ground, and they're but it reaches up with the other claw and it brings it back across them, and it just starts going to town with its claws against the mafia people. And Esther, you're watching the scene unfold, and you actually have to kind of turn away from this grisly scene as the monster is eviscerating these mafia people. And yeah, they're gone.
This is gonna greatly hurt Faye's conscience down the line.
You're a monster.
I'm a monster, yeah.
Well, you are literally a monster right now.
So that was your turn?
I guess so.
Yeah.
What-
Yes.
What is happening to Jimmy now that the water's hitting him? Because when I think of lava getting hit by water, I think of...
Yeah, so this
Stone.
cooled off status is like the glow in his eyes and the glow from his wounds is fading away. It's still there, but it's this ongoing pour of things. You could increase the flow or direct the flow more to affect him more, but right now he just has that cooled off status 1, so he's like slower moving almost. He's becoming statuesque almost.
Okay, so I'm going to craft what I believe is a complex object. I still don't believe a wrench is a complex object, but that's all right.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to craft like a nozzle so that I could direct and concentrate the flow.
Okay. So it changed the game. What are you adding to it?
I think the only thing I could add to that would be tattoo manipulation.
Okay.
Nice.
10.
10? Okay. So what was your power? 1 or 2?
1.
1? Okay. So you get 1. Why don't you add it to that cooled off? No. What was the one that you came up with?
Oh, the hydrant?
Yeah, the hydrant. So increase it by 1 to a 2.
All right. Dope.
And I guess roll a hit with all you've got with this hydrant power that you have now.
So I'm getting +2 from the hydrant power.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, this would be that construct, so I guess +1 for that construct.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, well, +2.
Oh, that's the construct I just made.
Yeah. So it's a
Wait,
+2 for your...
do I get a nozzle, or is that nozzle just adding on to the gushing?
Oh, I just figured that you wanted to add it to the gushing
that's
water.
fine.
Yeah. So a +2 for that, and then roll your hit with all you've got.
12.
Damn. Okay. That's a dynamite move. So you create this construct with both your hands. You put the nozzle over it, and you can direct the flow of water more directly, and you just direct it all into the body of Jimmy the Butcher. There's more steam, more billowing. You can hear the scream of Jimmy behind the hiss of steam. And eventually, I guess you stop hearing the scream, so you clamp off the water. And as the steam clears, you see Jimmy the Butcher kind of frozen in this tortured position with his hands reaching up above his head and his mouth open, but he is gray and not glowing anymore, and also not moving anymore. So he is frozen where he stands as a statue.
That's better.
Okay, so I guess that ends that scene. So, Faye, you still have control of this beast. From somewhere down the road, you hear the woo, woo, woo of sirens.
Now they come.
Yeah.
So Esther's gonna move over towards Faye, and she's gonna, I don't know. I'm assuming Esther is tall enough that like she can, and she's not like so far off the ground that she can just reach up and like put her hand on her shoulders and kind of like push her back down. And sorry, and she pushes her back down. Faye, are you okay?
What?
And the glow fades, and like the dress fades away, and the circlet fades away, and her street clothes are back, and She
And-
kind of floats down to the ground.
And Esther's gonna like help her to one of the booths to like sit.
One of the remaining booths.
So as
The booth where we were sitting is
Yeah, yeah,
still
yeah.
like fully.
oh, it's still there. It's
It's the only thing standing.
the only
but-
thing wrong with the booth is that the napkin holder's like falling down,
Yeah.
and also the salt or the pepper is missing.
Yes.
But as you settle Faye back into the ground and her feet are on the ground, the monster, with labored breathing, it it looks around, although it doesn't have eyes, and it just tosses its head around. Its nostrils flare as it smells, and then it kind of positions its body and turns around to look at the two of you. And you have, even without this eye, you feel like it's looking at you. But then it very quickly turns and runs for the light. And Bill, I don't know, you're like outside, like, yeah, what are you going to do now, punk? And you're like talking to the statue. And the monster like rushes past you, almost knocking you off your feet. And it turns and rushes down the street, leaving these huge boom, 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 cracks in the pavement.
Yes, maybe that was
as
the
it
best thing to do.
disappears.
We still need you to control it, probably, but that's okay.
So the beast runs away, and the sirens are getting closer.
So Faye is looking around at like everything, and she doesn't really understand what happened or have like a strong memory of doing this, but she realizes that the bodies are maimed so much that it had to have been the monster, and she knew she was in control. So I like pull up her knees into her chest and just starts sobbing uncontrollably into her knees, and it's just like in the booth curled up.
Hey, we need to get out of here. Like, now.
Bill appears in the gaping hole in the wall.
I mean, there's cops coming. I mean, I don't know how we even begin to try to explain this. I think that it might be.
I mean, they're already gonna know I'm connected. It's my bar. Y'all go. I'll stay here.
And so Ren like throws his gun up from the crevice, and then you see him like attempt to like crawl up while he's like still crushed. He's just like, yeah, that would be a really great idea.
If I could get out of this.
I mean, we could do something that makes this look like an accident, but
An accident? Do you see the 4 maimed bodies?
it would require rebuilding the bar.
We were victims at this point.
I mean,
What are you thinking? There are 4 dead people.
Faye just looks up and says, just set it on fire.
We're not setting it on fire.
It's already destroyed, Esther.
Y'all can go. I've got this.
How are you going to explain 4 dead
It
people?
doesn't matter. Just go.
Fine.
And so we all just like run through the kitchen, I guess, because that's where the SUV is.
The SUV's at
Yeah,
not
it's at-
here.
Oh.
It's at Bill's
This
house.
is one time you cannot to the SUV.
we can't.
So we just run through the alleyway, I suppose.
I don't. None of us run. We're not.
You live.
None of you are in the shape to run, but you go.
But we go. And we like linger. Bill's still thinking about it. Ren and Faye linger at the like kitchen door one more time before like turning around and going.
Okay. As you make your way out of the back door, you hear the car doors slamming, the sirens are here, the lights are flashing in the hole. And the first person that runs up to the open hole in the wall calls in, Esther! Esther! He pulls out his flashlight, is Javi's voice, and he's shining his flashlight around in the dimly lit area.
I'm here.
He runs to you, he drops his flashlight, grabs you, and pulls you in for a hug. He said, as soon as I heard the address on the radio, I knew it was you. And he looks at you. What? He's looking around at the destruction. What happened?
We were attacked.
And he looks at you standing there kind of dumbstruck. I guess he actually ran past you because you were in the hole in the wall. And he says, is that true?
Yeah, it was Jimmy the Butcher. Some goons.
He pauses for a second. Where are they at now?
Esther looks at the pile of guys on the floor.
He looks, oh my. And he turns to you with a horrified look on his face.
He didn't teach me that well, Javi.
You didn't do this.
That's why I just said what I said.
And more cops show up in the hole, and they're like, oh my God, Jesus, what happened? What did that? And they're shining around, looking at their flashlights and stuff. And Javi looks at the both of you and says, looks like it was a hit and run, boys. Some drunk driver plowed in here, broke the wall open, peeled off. He rattles off some make and model and gives a license plate number. Says, put out a APB looking for this person. Need to get him off the street. Get him to pay for this damage. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah. And they start walking around and stuff. Where's, he looks at the mutilated bodies. Is that, is that Jimmy?
Can you see the statue from where we're standing? Like, if I were to...
No. But you would...
But, like, if I were to turn him in a certain way, could he see the statue from where we're at? So I turn him towards the statue so that he can see it.
It's not there.
And you.
End of episode.
Okay.
That's not a bad spot.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Mistconceptions. Our next episode will be released on February 12th. And I looked it up, and yes, a wrench is a simple tool, so I apologize to Jaime and all other simple tool enthusiasts out there. If you have social media, consider finding us on Facebook and Twitter. You can get updates about the show, little behind-the-scenes information, maybe a funny picture, maybe a limerick. I mean, we haven't posted a limerick yet, but you don't know because you're not subscribed to our Facebook or Twitter, so you go there and look for any limericks that we've done, but we haven't. City of Mist is a RPG created by Son of Oak Productions. Depending on when you listen to this episode, the core rulebooks might actually already be shipping. They are scheduled to be shipped in the last week of January, so if you have pre-ordered those, expect one soon. If you haven't, go get one now, because they're awesome, and this is a fun game, and you should play it. The music you heard at the beginning of this episode, and we'll hear here in a little bit, was composed by Aaron Wharton. You can find more of his music at aaronwharton.net, and you can check out his new album at the link below. That's all for this week's episode of Misconceptions. Thank you for being here. I love each and every one of you. I hope you have a wonderful week, and keep it nerdy, y'all.